Welcome to your How Does Your Person Think and Feel About You reading. I said I was going to do this for you guys because, okay, in your soul session over on my other channel, Tarot Therapy, it seemed as if you guys had a situation that was going on that may be romantical. So let's go ahead and jump right in. What we're looking at for this particular person, we're looking at their fleeting thoughts. So just information they're kind of weighing in their thoughts in reference to you. We're looking at their conscious thoughts. So what they're aware of how it is that they're seeing you. And we're looking at their subconscious impressions, which may or may not be things that they are projecting onto you. And lastly, we're looking at their feelings for you. So the first card that we have is the Three of Cups in the reverse. So they feel as if they've made you, well, I'm not saying they feel, but I mean, they're thinking as if there's a disconnect or a level of unhappiness. The vibe I get with this heavily is it's in awareness that they may have potentially disappointed you in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and that you're not happy with them at present. The next card that we have is the Four of Cups in the reverse. So this person has a bad habit of whatever it is that they did that caused this, right? So whatever it is that they've done, this would be something that you are aware of. This is really giving me karmic-y partner kind of vibes. The vibe I get with this Four of Cups in the reverse is more or less this person is always in and out of the door, if you will, but there's still this unexplainable magnetic attraction between the two of you, even though you don't feel fulfilled in the connection or in the partnership. Even like no matter how many times the person can disappear or leave and come back or forget your birthday or whatever the case, it's the thought of that makes you unhappy. They know that makes you unhappy. They're aware of the fact that they're consistently in and out, but that would be the word for it, consistently inconsistent. They are very consistently inconsistent and also fully aware of the fact that them not giving you what you want, which in my opinion would be consistency. It's like they're not giving you what you desire, but they're not like cutting the cords either. Because if the person is constantly leaving and coming back, right? There's one side of this where you're allowing this person to come back. And there's another part of this of them knowing, even though it makes you unhappy, because they know ultimately you would want this to be something and to grow into something. But they are non-committal is the vibe that I get. It's a difficulty with them being able to stick around because it really feels to me, and this is just what I'm picking up intuitively, they have a strong fear of commitment. And even though they're aware that this hurts you and can disappoint you, make you sad, what have you, it's like they can't help but do that because whenever it seems like things, well, I'm saying they can't help, I mean, they really could, but they're not doing the work to do so. But it almost feels as if every time things start to get too serious or there's expectations put on the partnership or you wanting things to go to another level, it's almost like they completely pull back all of the way. And they're fully aware that that makes you sad, but they still come back and you still want them to come back. At least those of you who resonate with this. The next card that we have is the 10 of Wands in the reverse. That's interesting. More or less this time, this go round. There's a fear. I feel like you guys aren't speaking, to be quite honest. I think you guys would be in one of those separation type of vibes right now. But this go around, there's a fear with them that you may actually drop the burden that you're carrying in reference to them, once again, because you're not happy in the situation. So these are just kind of thoughts that are swimming around in their head. They're fully aware that they're this off and on, hot and cold kind of vibe. They know that it upsets you. They know that it doesn't make you happy. They know that you have feelings for them and they have feelings for you. Like they like you, they like being around you. It's just more or less this person kind of wants to have their cake and eat it too, where they like the perks of being around you or enjoy being in your company. It's just them not wanting that responsibility that comes with a relationship, because something with that provokes anxiety with them because it makes them feel trapped. And I think it's more or less this thing of feeling trapped and not being able to like get out of it. And they like the fact that this doesn't necessarily have like a committed title or clearly outlined expectations, because it gives them the ability to leave. And because they know that you care about them, even though they make you unhappy, they know they can always come back. However, this go around, they fear more or less that you're kind of sick of their shit, and you might let them go for good. Now, their conscious thoughts towards you, good Lord, they have the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. So I can tell you for sure, if you and this person are not communicating, and that's heavily what this feels like to me, they're not going to come towards you now. They're not making any movement towards you at present. So if you guys kind of had it on your mind that maybe they were weighing their options, trying to, figure out how to come back to talk to you, or, trying to make sure you weren't mad or whatever, I don't see them right now making any steps in the direction of reaching out to you. And I don't know why my guides are telling me this, but I need to say this. Like, I'm doing this for Leo, but the way that they're showing this to me is that majority of people who are watching this, this would be like my old Cross Watchers only reading. Maybe I should just make this a Cross Watchers only reading. God damn it. But a lot of you guys aren't Leos, but you are watching for a Leo person, and that would be correct. But this person isn't making any movement towards you at present. The next card that we have, which is their subconscious impression, Holy Mother of Goodness, is the Four of Swords. So the truth of the matter is that this person, I could say that they're not aware of, but they are. Let's just be honest. With this being their subconscious impression, this is the energy that's pretty much motivating all of this here. Why it is that they're not making any actions towards you, why they don't intend to reach out right now, this whole back and forth thing of this bad habit they have going on with this Four of Cups and the reverse, knowing that that hurts you. And even though they think that you may drop them like a bad habit, it's like they're still withholding from you, right? But where this projection element comes in is this person, and please bear with me when I say this because I don't like how I'm hearing it in my head and I have to get it out of my mouth. But it's more or less this person withholds from you, like when they disappear, almost because they want you to want them, like they want you to yearn for them, they want you to miss them, they want you to almost, even though you're hurt and upset. So this is the whole reason why that they're not coming back right now, because it hasn't been long enough. It's almost like this person's MO with them pulling back and withholding communication or affection or anything from you, like them pretty much like ghosting in so many words. The reason why they do that is because they like that magnetism that you two have. It's almost like when this person comes back into the space, like you spider monkey them because you miss them, you miss, sleeping with them, being around them or whatever. And the vibe I'm kind of getting with this is you guys, even though you may call them out on it and speak on it, you still kind of tiptoe and don't rock the boat, because which makes this really manipulative, because how this person is behaving, it's like it's a manipulation control tactic, you know what I'm saying? Because it's withholding that affection or disappearing. The natural human inclination is to want answers and to understand why. So you guys may not make the first order of business when this person comes back, like, where did you go? Why did you disappear? Like, what were you doing? Were you dating someone else? You may have done that at one point in time. You may even throw that in there kind of inadvertently. But what I'm being shown is a person who kind of walks on eggshells when this person comes back, and you have it in your mind that you want the clarity and you want the answers as to why they did what they did. but it's almost like this person has conditioned you over time to kind of tiptoe when they come back so that they aren't like skittish and end up disappearing again. But then the other side of this, it's like this person maybe, and this may be another group of you, this person holds back from you because I'm assuming the last time that you guys may have reconnected or attempted to reconcile, you withheld from them because of you being unhappy. And maybe you typically were the one who always reached out to them, like called them first or text them first, or, you were kind of checking for them. I feel for another group of you, this literally would be that this last go around, you guys withheld affection, you withheld sex, you withheld who else you were seeing, or you put up some type of boundary. And this is the thing I say I don't like. It's like them holding back and not speaking to you is almost like a punishment. So this may be for some of you the longest this person has ever gone without sleeping with you or without communicating with you, right? And the reason for that is them feeling like it's almost like they look at it like you guys had an agreement. So it's like, I leave when you start talking about, commitment or putting a title on this or whatever. And when I decide to come back, you're supposed to open the door and, we reconcile and stuff goes back to normal until you start talking about commitment again. But there's something in your behavior that has changed markedly where you did not come back into agreement with this person the way that you always have. So it's like you set a boundary. That's what the energy signature of that would be. You set a boundary, and let's say hypothetically, you let the person come back, you heard them out, you talked to them, but you said like, oh, I'm not sleeping with you anymore though. Like we can't have sex, right? It's like this person took that as a slight, and it's like, oh, you're going to hold back from me. Well, now I'm going to hold back from you. So now they're not communicating. They're not making any offers as like a punishment of you holding back from them, which is extremely immature. Like that is beyond immature and childish, but it's also a manipulation tactic. So it's kind of like this game of, who's going to break first. And I feel you guys are keeping up with this, and not saying y'all are playing games, but it's like with the withholding thing, it's almost like this person having this confidence that you were going to break eventually. So it's like they're wanting you to reach out to them. But I feel that you guys are like so sick of the stuff. Like, I don't doubt you care about the person or that you even want to be around the person or communicate with the person. But it's just the fact that you feel something had to shift or something had to change, which is a beautiful thing because you can't control other people. And I just heard something else. You can't control other people. And I'm not saying this is for everybody, but my guide said it, so I got to say it out loud. There's some of you where this whole withholding thing happened and it wasn't you setting a boundary. For some of you guys it is, which is healthy, which is good. Kudos to you. But there's others of you where you're kind of playing the same game this person plays now, which happens when you stick with a person that does shit like this for too long. It's like you kind of start turning into them by default. So this would be something, because like if you establish a boundary, that means, a person is doing something that you don't like, right? So you lay the boundary down and it's like, hey, this is the line in the sand. Don't cross it because I don't like that you're doing this particular thing to me. But my guides are telling me there's some of you guys where you drew this line in the sand. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. It's just you need to be consciously aware that you're doing what this person be doing. You drew, and it's making you miserable in the process. It's like you drew a line in the sand, not because you wanted to. So it's kind of like you wanted to smash the person, but you just said, oh, we're not having sex, because you figure if you don't do that, then it'll make them do what you want them to do. If that's the case, this person is fully aware that you're doing that. So it's a waiting game. So their thing is like, oh, well, you want to hold back from me? Well, I'm about to hold back from you too. Right? Because in their mind, they feel like you're going to break because they know this isn't like a boundary. It's like just kind of being petty because you want to control them. But this person is hell bent on not wanting to be controlled. Right? It's like they kind of it's like this whole thing is almost like this agreement. And I have to say, whoever it is that I'm talking to out there, if this is a connection that you were in and you were allowing stuff to go this way for an extended period of time, that certifies as like an agreement. It's like you two agreed to be in a partnership like this because, and I'll just call you my cross watcher if that's the case. It's more or less that it's like facilitating this relationship. It's like you're enabling things to be this particular way, you know? And what really needs to happen, and this goes back to like the establishing healthy boundaries, it's like if you in your heart of hearts were like, I cannot possibly in all good conscience sleep with this person because this person's disrespecting me and they won't commit to me and I don't want any parts of that. If setting this boundary or withholding from them came from that place, that's a good thing because that means that you're stepping out of this pathology, which gives it the opportunity to shift. However, where this person's headspace is at, there is a little bit of a fear in the back of their mind that they think that you may be done with it. Because once again, like I said, they're fully aware that they have this inconsistency going on because they have their own fear of commitment. They're not making any type of offers right now. They know that it does upset you, but they're still, you know, holding back from you. And even though there's a fear of that, it's not fear enough for them to change their behavior at present. Now, their feelings towards you, oh, good Lord, we have the Knight of the Cuppies. So more or less how this person perceives you, which is why it is, or how they feel about you rather, why it is that this 10 of Wands in the reverse is here and why they think that there's the potential that you may release this whole little burden with them is because they see you as working on yourself. So I don't know if you guys are like on social media and doing your little self-care days and doing things with your friends, or you on some, you know, positive motivational type of kick, right? But they're seeing you and they're seeing that you're focusing on yourself, which I say is a really good thing. But once again, I have to talk about these two different groups I'm picking up on of who would be watching this. There's a group of you who are doing this authentically. So there's one group where it's like you realize this person isn't giving you what you want. You care about the person. You would love for them to come back. You would love to be in a commitment with this person if they were willing to commit. However, if they're not, you're kind of cutting your losses. And, you know, and of course you'd be watching this because there's a part of you that would hope this person would change. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you're cutting your losses and you're putting your energy on yourself, right? And they're aware of this. Now, and ultimately, and I have to say this, ultimately, if this person were to come back, what would provoke them to come back would be a fear that you would drop them like a bad habit. But what would be required for my group one people, if we were to call you guys that, it would be what your standards are. If this person comes back still on the same bullshit, and what it looks like right now, they're still on the same bullshit. If they're still on the same bullshit, then even if they did come back, it's just like, okay, well, you're not willing to, you know, commit, like you're still on that. It's like, well, I'm going back to doing what I was doing, right? Now, with the other group of you, and this is really speaking to intention, this other group where the stuff that you're doing isn't because you really want to get in the gym, you really want to self-care, you really want to focus on yourself, you really want to be more positive. Like the whole thing that you're doing is solely because like the stuff you're posting on Instagram or the TikTok or whatever, everything you're posting is because you want this person to come back. So you're kind of trying to make them jealous. You know what I'm saying? That in essence is unfair to yourself. But much like I said to my group over here, this person hasn't made any shifts within themselves, and them holding back, in so many words, is because they know that it's not coming, it's not a true intention. And that's only if you resonate with this other group over here. It's not coming from the pureness of your heart, of you really making a transformation. Is more or less for them, they see, oh, you're posting all this stuff because I see what you're doing. You're trying to make me jealous. You're trying to make me think that you moved on. You're trying to make me think X, Y, Z. And that's causing them to hold back even more so. However, on your side, where this is important, that why this is coming out like this for my group 2 people is for you guys to be aware of your intention. It's like this is more about you guys being aware of the fact that just like how this person is controlling the, connection, that you're falling into that same lower vibrational energy of trying to manipulate and control them. And that's not the method in which to do it, because it's almost like fighting fire with fire, and it's still not giving this person an incentive to change. So even if they're kind of falling into the mindset like my group 1 people are, where it's like, oh, they think you're going to drop them like a bad habit. If ever that were to happen, if they were to see that you were not communicating, right, and it goes for even longer, like say if it gets to like a 3-month mark or something like that, and they're like, oh, wow, wait a minute now. Like they ain't never gone that long not talking to me. Then with this Knight of Cups, they would come back with an offer, right? But it wouldn't be something like they would probably come back speaking very emotionally and I miss you and stuff like that. But because their mind space still isn't right, what's motivating this behavior is like, oh, I don't want you to cut me off for good. So it's like, let me come back and breadcrumb you a little bit. And because that's ultimately what you were wanting, you would fall into that again and repeat this cycle all over again. So I feel for my other group of people, why that is coming up for you guys like that is, for you guys to kind of take a page out of the book of my group 1 people. It's like you have to get back to your authenticity, and everything that you're doing in your life right now is because it's almost like this person still has control over you, because the way that you're living and what you're doing isn't because you really want to do it. You're doing it because you want this person to come back, but you want this person to come back to be in a connection with them that's a less than stellar one, because the person isn't really committing. It's just a consistent in and out type of thing, So for my second group, this is more about you guys taking your power back away from this person because you've given them too much power. So I'm going to pull some little love cards here to get some additional information. Whoa. For my groups. So that's group 2, group. I don't know how this ended up coming into a whole little group thing. You guys could take these cards however it is that they're resonating. So for my group over here with the, manipulation type of thing, we have clock. It says need time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal and progress. Then we have palm trees, stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, and flexibility. So that's exactly what I was saying for my little group over here that's kind of trying to beat this person at their own game. It's like, this is a time for you guys to truly heal, right? And to take this time for yourself to create a sense of stability and security in your own life. And I spoke about this in, I don't know if y'all got Virgo in your chart, y'all Virgos, but I spoke about this in the Virgo soul session on my other channel. And I talked about, for that particular sign, it was important. And I'm seeing it very clearly for these people that fall into this little group over here is, whenever you make a decision to put 10 toes down to stand for something, you can't fall for anything, right? But I feel this is more or less, this group of people is settling for less than you deserve in this particular partnership. It's like you're playing this game to try to get this person jealous, to get them to come back. But it's like, what's coming back to you? You know what I mean? So it's like this time frame with this person not speaking to you is time, energy, and effort that you're putting into trying to get them to come back or trying to make them jealous. Is time, energy, and effort that you could be putting into yourself to get clear on what it is that you really want out of a relationship or a partnership, to really ask yourself if you really want to be with a person like this, right? To get clear on what it is that you want in general. But I feel this time is being wasted because, like I said, you're putting your energy and your effort into drawing a person back in that wasn't giving you what it is that you wanted in the first place, you know? Now, for my other group of people, we have boat. It says receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, closure, and lessons. And then the next card that you guys have is the Grim Reaper, and it says the relationship is over, no second chances, grow and transform your life. So this is an interesting contrast here for my other group of people, those of you who set the boundaries and you're focused on, your self-love and your self-nurturing. I feel like with you guys, you very well may be wanting to drop this person like a bad habit and maybe looking at this reading to, get some confirmation on that. And my confirmation would be like, hey, yes, continue focusing on yourself, you establish healthy boundaries. This person isn't speaking, but it's like they're still on that bullshit. Like, I'm literally being honest. They're literally still on this bullshit. They're still playing games because this person is non-committal. Like, they have issues with commitment. So even if this person were to come back, it's like, if we talk about the relationship being dead, it's like the death of intimacy. Intimacy is when you believe that your partner has your best interest at heart. And this person doesn't have your best interest at heart because they're consciously aware that their behavior up to this point has been hurtful to you. It has hurt your feelings, but there's still no desire to change it. And much like I said for the group over here, because you guys are working on yourselves, that's good, right? Because you're growing, you're progressing, you're healing, you're moving forward. It's like this person could literally just have FOMO. And if they come back, they would be pulling you back into a dead relationship, because from what I'm seeing for this particular person, nothing about them has changed. It's not looking like it's going to change. It's like you stepping outside of the fold. I understand, like I was saying, that's the best option for things to shift. I can't say that forever it's going to be like this, but I mean, the Grim Reaper is here. That's like the equivalent of a death card. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be a transformation. This person would have to have like a whole entire aha epiphany, go on a whole spiritual journey, get a therapist to work out why it is that they're non-committal. But that's neither here nor there, because that's going to take years, child. I'm just saying. So I feel for you guys, focusing on yourself, setting that boundary where if this person wants to come back into your life, they have to meet that standard and not just lip service. Like, you have to see actual change behavior. But the way that this relationship has been up to this point, or this connection rather, has been up to this point, it can't continue this way, right? Because it's you settling for less than you deserve. But I feel with you guys, you're fully aware of that, So I guess this suddenly became a CrossWatchers only reading. That has been your reading. Let me know what you think in the comments. I love you guys, freaking faces, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends.